Right? Don't want to force this as far as you can. Now, I'm not going to keep this position. Sensitizations. First off, I need a timer. Yeah. Now, how long you hold these positions? You read the literature. It's anywhere from 10 seconds through a full minute. My experience with this has been that if you're going to get the symptoms come on for VBI, they come on pretty damn quickly. The experimental evidence for this, and there is some based on, what's the word I'm looking for? This in mammals, mostly in cats, I think, is that any ischemia will come on within about 15 seconds of producing the movement. So let's say 20 seconds. Yeah. I need a timer. He's going to be my timer. So when I've got him in that position, I'll get him to count backwards from 20. So I'm using him as a timer, but I'm also listening for language changes, voice changes, speech changes, dysphasia, dysphonia, dysarthria. Yeah? So that's part of my sensitization, evoking signs. As I've got him in that position, I'm listening to him, I'm looking at him, and now I can sensitize. The first one is Kreuter's sensitizations, K-R-E-U-T-E-R. And all you do is track. I'll be a bit careful here of interpreting positives. When he's got his head in that position, his eyes are nearer to an end of range. So if I take him too far, he's got it right there. Boom, boom, boom. It's called endpoint nystagmus. All right? To allow for that. But what I'm looking for now is spontaneous nystagmus, where I don't have to track, but by tracking, I evoke it. Now, peripheral nystagmus, that is nystagmus associated with the vertigo that's peripheral in nature, is gaze-suppressed nystagmus. Neurological nystagmus is gaze-evoked nystagmus. So if he's got peripheral nystagmus and I get to track my finger, it tends to suppress any nystagmus because he's got something to fix on. Whereas with neurological, when I take him into the position of nystagmus, it will tend to evoke it. So this is actually, these tracking exercises are actually very, very much designed for neurological rather than peripheral nystagmus. Is that okay? That's the first one, Kreuter's nystagmus. All the rest of these are Meadows's sensitizations. It doesn't really matter, does it? As long as I can do a quick nerve test, I can look at consensual reflexing, there, smile, and stick your tongue out. Right. If you do those at about 20 seconds, they'll take you maybe 5 or 6 seconds to do, so you've got 25, 26, 27 seconds or something. Is that okay? Let's assume he's not dizzy. If he gets dizzy, get him out of the position and do a proper cranial nerve exam. Start from the bottom and come up. Now you can do this in laying. On the video, you've got it demonstrated in laying. So you can do it in laying, or you can get this in laying. Now, if it's nystagmus that you've generated, and the nystagmus is moderate or severe, they may not be able to do what you want them to do. So wait for the nystagmus to settle down. Then they're going to likely be left with type 2 dizziness, and then do your testing while they've got type 2 dizziness. Right. Is that okay? So left rotation's okay, right rotation they got dizzy. Get them out of it, do a cranial nerve exam. Extension, tuck your chin up and under there. Good. Extension. Extension left rotation. And extension and right rotation. Is that okay? Declines, come up towards me. There, and there, there, and there. Now it looks like a lot more movement because the thorax is involved, but in actual fact, if I've got full range on the bed, I've got full range in the neck off the bed. One of the problems with doing this is that if I have a problem with them in this position, I can't get them back on the bed. So what you can do, if you don't want to take them over the end of the bed, move down the bed for me, is take a pillow, so a bit firmer and stiffer than that, and then get them into this position there, and then you can do that with them, which will still bring the ear a bit below the horizontal, but it's not as good as being over there. Okay?
If someone has painful segment, a segmental dysfunction of that, so you cannot get that,
You can take them as far up the range as you can.
and it still counts as a negative.
Well, it is for the range of motion you've got. I mean, what else can you do?
Right.
If you look at, again, cadaveric studies, they'll tell you that you don't start to occlude the artery until about 40 degrees of rotation. All right. Now, if you've got a segmental dysfunction that's limiting rotation by more than 40 degrees, you can probably misdiagnose it. Or it's extremely painful, which makes it a very atypical segmental dysfunction. So you want to rethink your diagnosis anyway. But the other thing here is, of course, is that's assuming these are done on cadaveric studies. But if we now make the assumption this is a vertebral artery problem, is it necessarily true that you need 40 degrees of rotation to occlude the artery? And the answer is not necessarily. I don't know, but probably not. That coroner's case I was involved in, I was asked a question by the coroner, how good are these tests? I said, I don't know. So he said, what's the downside to doing them? I said, well, the downside is that the 2 minutes that you spend doing the tests. That's it. That's really what it comes down to. Just don't have too much confidence in negative tests. They should change your confidence that it isn't vertebral artery when you get a positive test. But it won't change your confidence much that it, sorry, I'll say that again. If you think it's vertebral artery, you should be doing the test anyway. If you don't think it's vertebral artery, these tests are not terribly good when you're not looking at neurological signs at changing their confidence. When you are looking at the neurological signs for your positive, then they should switch you around completely. Yeah? Just be careful of negative tests. Is that right? No problem there? Okay. So, let's get you to do that, all right? Now,